We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy.
Rolling.
Are we rolling? Nobody told me we were rolling.
He's
all they asked was,
he's
are
a
you ready?
sneaker.
I know. I'm like,
if he were a
Jesus.
shoe, he'd be a sneaker.
People probably turned this episode on and was like, why
What
is
is
it?
They're like, wait, they never are quiet.
I know.
If there's like a moment of silence, it's like, what's going on?
Well, I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
It is who we are.
So, Joe, how have you been? We haven't been here for a while.
Yes.
It's been a couple weeks.
Not too much has happened. A couple things in the past couple weeks. We had a celebration for my friend Katie. She is 4 years seizure free. And so,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we went and hung out at Nick's apartment. We all kind of hung out, and she brought I want to say it's a Carvel cake.
Okay.
Have you ever had that?
No, but
Carvel?
I know Fudgy.
Carvel.
Was it
Ice cream cake?
It was an ice cream cake. Yeah.
Please buy my ice cream.
Was it Fudgy the Whale?
What is that?
That's one of the characters at Carvel that you can get. Like the most popular one is
Cookie
Fudgy the Whale.
Puss.
Oh my God, Cookie Puss! That's a drag name right there.
Yeah, right.
No, I don't know any of those things, but it was an ice cream cake, and I normally don't like ice cream cakes because I only know like Baskin Robbins ice cream cakes.
Was it like the vanilla and then the chocolate with the cookie crumble?
Yes.
It's yummy.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah.
So clearly, I think it's an East Coast thing,
It is, very much so.
and like New York, Long Island, like New Jersey.
The guy, Sam Carvel, had that very gruff voice, and he used to do all the commercials. And he'd be like, please buy my ice cream.
Well, we bought it. I didn't buy
He
it.
does impressions, everybody.
Not good ones.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Sam, is that you? Hello, Sam. So that was fun. And a couple other things. Obviously, Valentine's Day happened. And then I was glued to the television for the State of the Union address. And also the Super Bowl. So various little things.
Where to get into all that?
I know. It's a catch up.
Yeah.
And how are you?
So we're going to talk about why we had a little bit of a lull between our episodes. So I traveled a lot for different conferences. I went to Orlando, did a conference, worked it, and then came back. Left to go to DC, was there for a week almost, and then came back. About a day and a half, and then the Saturday after I got back, which was like a couple weeks ago, I got a call from my younger sister telling me that my older sister was found in her car, unconscious and taken to the hospital. I told her this. I mean, like, my sister has been in the hospital before, so it wasn't like something that I was like, okay, well, find out from the doctor what's going on and then call back and tell me what's going on, because my sister was like freaking out and crying and stuff. And I'm like, okay. And so she calls back and she puts me on speaker when the doctor is in the room and tells me that my sister had a catastrophic brain bleed originating in her brain stem. And due to like high blood pressure and a couple of other factors, but mostly the high blood pressure, not taking care of yourself. Asked if there's anything they can do. It's like, no, because of where it is. It's kind of affected her ability to breathe, so she couldn't do that on her own anymore.
Yeah, kind of basic function.
Right. And it had already killed off part of her brain. And I'm sorry, listeners, I'm just trying to be as honest and open with you guys like we always do as possible. And so I asked her if I needed to get on a plane and be there. And she's like, yes, it would be ideal if you could get here as soon as possible. So we did. We got on a plane that same day because I called Andy he was at the grocery store doing our grocery shopping. And I'm like, I need you home right now. And like we found flights and got out there, and so we got there like it's in Nashville, so it was like we got there like midnight or so. So the next day we went, and so we got there and we meet up with my family, and we're in the room, and it's hard to see my sister like that on all the machines and everything being kept alive by life support. Talk to the doctors, and you have to make a decision on whether or not to keep her on life support because there's really nothing else they could do.
And we knew that they were basically keeping her alive till we
got there. Yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. They were like, "We'll make sure that she's as comfortable as possible till you get here. But if you could be here tomorrow, that would be great." So we did, and not long after we got there, the doctor came in. We talked. Had to make the decision on whether or not we were going to keep her on life support, which is a really hard decision that people don't take lightly. But also, it had to be. Also, getting everybody's input into it is difficult because, especially like my nephew, because it's her son who's her only living technically kin. So it's. For him, he's 23, having to make a decision on whether or not to take his mom off life support is like a hard thing. So we made that decision. And it is not like how they do it in the movies or TV. Like you think it's going to happen in a certain way because you watch a lot of like Good Doctor or ER or Grey's Anatomy or something. Say it elsewhere, you won't know what that is. But,
I don't.
So then we decided to do it, and we were hoping to do it that same day, which was a Sunday. But then they came and asked us because my sister was a very good candidate for organ donation. Mm-hmm. And would we be willing to do that? And we decided that we would. So that meant we had to wait a day.
Okay.
And then, so when they do take somebody off life support, in the movies and stuff, it usually happens really fast. The person dies really fast. And when you're doing organ donation, when they take you off life support, you have a finite amount of time. It's an hour within to pass, or else they can't take the organs.
Certain organs.
Mostly, like the inner organs and stuff like that. They can still use your corneas, nerves, possibly bone marrow. And stuff like that. But they can't use the actual organs, like your liver, your lungs, things like that. She did not pass right away. She actually lasted like 2 days. 2.5 days.
So we went from noon on Monday till
10:45 or so on Wednesday
night.
So, which in itself is hard. Okay, so this is where we talking about grieving and grief and all this stuff. Like, it is not a linear process, and it's different for everybody. So for me, when I start grieving and I get into that grieving process, I go into like this mode of I've got to make decisions. I got to get things done. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We got to get this done. That's me. I'm pragmatic and realistic. It's hard to watch my mom have to watch that because she had so much hope that my sister was going to wake up.
Yeah.
So when they take you off of life support, especially because my sister had issues breathing on her own, she would do a lot of gasping and she would jerk and her eyes would flutter. And there's all these things that your body normally does on its own as like a knee-jerk reaction to things. And that's what happened to my sister. So my mom would be like, she's trying to open her eyes. And it's like, no, Mom, she's not. But I said that a couple times, and then finally I was just like, I have to walk away because it hurt a lot.
Yeah.
It was definitely an exercise in letting other people have their experience and not
force your own onto somebody else. So it was like I had to step away because it was hard for me to watch that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they moved her from the hospital to hospice, which my mom calls Hoe Spice. So, also I deal with like grief. My grieving is also through laughing and trying to make jokes and stuff.
Can you please like trademark Hoe Spice and like
Hoe Spice maybe our new scent.
I mean,
coming to the stage, Hoe Spice.
It could be your deodorant. It could be like what you baste your chicken with.
Taking care of all your entertainment needs. About to kill you with all of her. It's Hoe Spice.
Oh man.
So
You'll be dying.
And she had a beautiful room there. Then, we had to make the funeral arrangements.
One thing, the hospital, it was really nice to be in this environment because the hospital is very laid back. They let all of us come and go you didn't have security. Like here in California, you have to get a pass, you get checked in, you have to wear a badge. Nothing.
This is Tennessee, though, so keep that in mind.
But we're talking about a very nice hospital, too. It was a beautiful facility.
Okay.
Incredible care.
Yeah.
And they were laid back, so, like, we could be in that room, 8 of us. A little girl, even, her girlfriend's daughter was able to come in and be around her, and no pressure. It was just, that part of it was really nice.
So we did the funeral arrangements, which she was just going to be cremated. Andy and I, which was Wednesday, we made those arrangements and then went back to the hospice. And then we decided to go back to the hotel and do stuff. And then we got the call that night that she had passed, so we had to drive back. And we're about like half an hour away from the hospice and stuff like that where we're staying. My family's dealing with it. We stayed a couple of extra days, which is good because we were supposed to leave on Wednesday, and we ended up staying until Saturday. And I was like, "This is a good idea," because I didn't want to like leave before my sister had actually passed. So,
sure.
So, like I said, I deal with it differently than my family does. So they're dealing with it in their way. I'm dealing with it in mine. But like again, if it's nothing like you see in the movies, and you always like see it in like TV shows and stuff. You're like, oh, I'll be fine in that situation. I'll know exactly what to do. But no, you don't.
Mm-mm.
And let me tell you, it is very important if you do not have one right now, please get a living will.
Yeah.
Please make sure you have everything addressed. I don't care how old you are. Make sure to have all this stuff addressed. And make sure more than one person knows exactly what you want when you pass. Because there's nothing worse than one person saying, oh, no, they would have wanted this, they would have wanted that. It's like,
I'm going to add one more to that. If you are an LGBTQ plus person, not in a marriage relationship, and it matters to you what your partner thinks and does, recognize that you need to document that relationship, whether it's a will or a power of attorney or something, so that you have a voice in all of that. Because I think the biggest thing, your sister had a partner that she's been with for 8 years, but all of a sudden that partner had no voice because she is not recognized as having any status.
And so we had to be the ones to be like, no, Jessica, what's your input?
And as much as you want to help keep her in the conversation, she's just naturally not part of that conversation. Where if you had asked your sister beforehand, she might have actually designated that Jessica had the right to make all decisions for her.
Right.
And like I would have for you if that were the case with us, And we don't have to worry about that because we're married. But for people who are not married, get some documents in place so that when something happens that you don't plan on, that person is able to make decisions for you, knows clearly what you want, and can take care of you, and they're not you're not at risk of them being pushed to the side.
Right. Good PSA.
Not even intentionally, but just by the fact that
even just the hospital can't push you aside, and stuff like that, and because it's like we tried as best we could to keep her involved, and the hospital was really great about doing that too.
Yeah,
and so was the hospice. So it's like okay, but again, it's really good to have this stuff laid out, written out, exactly what you want, kind of thing, in case something like this happens.
Yeah.
So that's why we had to take some time off and haven't been cranking out the episodes like we usually do. But before we move on, because I know I brought the room down. Do you guys have any questions about that or anything?
Is there going to be a service, memorial service?
So there is going to be a memorial service. I think they're going to try and plan something there in Tennessee.
Kind of a celebration of life.
Right, where her friends and her coworkers can go and do that kind of thing. So, it wasn't something that the family wanted. Like, we weren't going to do, like, some kind of service or something. We kind of just, like, after you spend, like, 5 days, you know, in this like limbo area of like waiting. You've kind of deal with everything, you know.
Well, it's exhausting.
Yeah, and for us, I mean, even for your family, they're new to that area. The roots aren't deep.
Right.
They all moved there within the last year. So for them, it's not like they have a community of people around, you know, coworkers and stuff want to celebrate. Yeah. But it's not the same as somebody like when my father passed, he had lived in the same house for 25 years, and the whole community was there, you know.
Yeah. So there's that.
What I'm taking away is that I need to write like a living will.
Yes, you do.
Because I mean, I could get hit by a car tomorrow.
Right.
On a bike ride.
And then your parents would come in and decide what they want to do, which may not be what you would want.
100%. Well, so I was going to ask that. So did your nephew then have the ultimate say, or like how did that?
So in a lot of the things, he had to be the one to like sign things and everything, which is hard for a 23-year-old who's never dealt with a death before.
100%.
You know, so me and my younger sister Melissa were kind of like there with him to kind of, you know, guide him through. Plus, he was just kind of a wreck through a lot of it.
But I will say that one of the things that was very positive was him having to make the decision about organ donation gave him an opportunity to have just a little bit of control in this otherwise completely out of control situation. And I saw him turn around, be a different person after they had to have him make that. Not that he made it alone, because he talked to all of you all, but just that being his right and duty to make that decision was, I think, in the long run, a very positive.
Yeah, because didn't you say she was like the top 1%?
So she's like she was in the 1% of people who are good. Forgive her, you know, her body is going to give good donations.
Yeah. So she was the 1%.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you knew a 1%er.
So we told them, like, you can take a lot of stuff. The other thing we don't want you to take is skin.
They take skin?
They take skin, yes.
Okay, when you were saying like corneas, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, like your eyes and everything. We were willing to give
they take everything. Okay, that makes me like, because I'm an organ donor, but like, do I have to specify which ones I would like want them to take?
Yes.
Okay.
You do.
You can in your living room.
All right. Well, that is. I'm doing that tonight.
That is not a la carte. You have to order from this menu.
Well, and you also want a durable power of attorney. So who's the person that gets to make those decisions for you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, then I asked her. I was like, if we donate all this stuff, like
Cooper's my durable power of attorney.
Rightfully so.
I was like, if we do all this stuff, does the funeral home give us a discount on the cremation?
My God.
Because there's not as much left to cremate.
Well, and to be fair, he asked that.
I did ask that.
Well, so, but then, did you, so they had to find donors, this will be my last question, but like, they had to find donors, they had to like match up before, like, did they have to match them up before they would harvest?
No. They can harvest and then find donors based on that.
Yeah, they had to do the test.
And they do blood testing.
Profile,
Got it. Who
might be a match. And I felt bad for those people because if she had passed within an hour, it would have been, like a whole bunch of organs that people could have used. But because it went longer than an hour, there wasn't enough oxygen to those organs that they were considered healthy and harvestable.
Oh.
And I would tell people, like, the feelings that you feel, no matter what those feelings are valid.
100%.
Because during that time when they took her off life support and took her and extubated her and everything like that, I did hope that she would pass within an hour.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I really wanted her to be able to give those organs away.
Yeah.
And because I knew that was something that she would want to do. And then also kind of end this chapter so my family could move on, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
and it wasn't like drawn out.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it ended up being, but
do you want to tell them about the procession in the hospital too? That was actually pretty moving.
Yeah, they did I don't know if you've ever seen like the episode of Grey's Anatomy where they're wheeling one of the doctors who ended up in like in the hospital, but like everybody lines up down the hallway especially when you're an organ donor and they kind of like stand there in a moment of silence while they
Honor
wheel the
you.
person to honor you as you. It's called an honor walk.
my
So
God.
they did that for her. You know, it was just like that was. I couldn't look at anybody in the face. Like I couldn't make eye contact with anybody in the hallway because it was a lot.
But
for
I'll
me.
remember that forever.
Yes, I will too, and I'm sure my mom and all of them will also. It was just hard to see it. Yeah, so there's that. But we were in Nashville, so I'll tell you some stories about that. So first off, weird Lyft exchange when we got there because like we get there at like 12:30 at night and we ordered a Lyft and the guy shows up, nice guy, and I was like, okay, but he's like, where you guys from? You guys have family out here? And he's like asking all these weird questions. I'm like, are we gonna get Dahmered?
In a very like short and abrupt way.
Yeah.
He was like, how do you know each other?
It was so weird.
Wait, what?
We're married.
How do you? Who asks that? Hello, fine gentlemen.
We both were not looking at each other, but I knew exactly what he was thinking, and he knew what I was thinking.
I am gonna get Dahmered over here.
I was wondering if you were going to look up Blue Shirt Guy while you were out there.
Well, he's in Knoxville. We were in Nashville,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, so like me and my family purposely stayed off of social media, like except to like look at stuff. We didn't post anything because, like, we also have other friends who are in Tennessee, and we weren't going to be able to see them, and we just didn't want to like, you know,
Not the time for that.
right.
And
But
all of them were more than 3 hours.
yeah, and everybody was like far away. Like you got Appalachian Mountains, you got
Tennessee
Knoxville.
is California sideways, by the way. It's a long state.
It is a long state. And so we then, so we also, like we stayed at the Gaylord Opryland. If you ever have a chance to do that, it's a fantastic property. It is just fucking huge. It is like, you will put your steps in just walking from one end to the other. But it was like all these little things. Like we didn't even know they had a tiki bar till like 2 days before we were leaving. We're like, you have a tiki bar? That's
Is it like a resort sort of thing?
Yeah, it's like a huge resort.
It's like a conference center. So there are 3 or 4 atriums. Like as you go into different parts of the hotel, and some of these atriums are a cavern of like.
Wow.
There's a shopping whole area in the middle, a boat
Restaurants.
ride in the middle. It was
A
crazy.
boat ride?
Yeah, you can take a boat ride.
Did you go
around.
on the boat ride?
I mean, you've been at 2 Gaylords now in the last couple weeks.
Okay, so here's the thing we realized. I have basically been to every Gaylord and stayed there. Well, as of next month, I would have stayed at every single Gaylord and had never paid for any of them.
How many are there?
There's 5. So National, which is in DC.
Okay.
There's
And that's where
which
you
is
were.
Nashville.
Okay.
There's Palms in Orlando. There is Rockies in Denver, and then the Gaylord Texan in outside of Dallas.
When did you go to Texas?
Oh god, that was like years
It's
ago.
one of the atriums.
So
Was the picture of you in that fireplace, was that a Gaylord?
that was the Gaylord Rockies.
Yeah.
So everything is huge there. So they gave us the room for free for the entire time we were there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So we ended up going down to Music Row one night because we're like, we're in Nashville.
Yeah.
I know it's not the best reason for us being there, but we gotta like at least see the city.
Yeah.
So we went to Music Row, had a drink and watched some music at Miranda Lambert's restaurant, which is like a taco shop and bar.
Okay.
Tequila bar.
It is a cool part of, right downtown. There's like a 2-block area where on both sides, there's probably 30 bars, and every one of them has live music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a lot of them are owned by country artists. So there was
Okay.
like Blake Shelton's, Rich from Big and Rich, and like
Paul knew every
I knew
bar
every single one. I'm like,
But
we're
is
not
it
going
all
to this one, we're
country?
not going to that one, not going to Kid Rock's, we're not going to Jason Aldean's.
Is it all country music or is all music?
It's all music, but predominantly country,
Okay.
or has a country feel
Like
to it.
bluegrass?
I would.
No matter where you went, there was a lot of flannel, there were hats, and there were boots.
and there are a lot of fiddles.
Was there a lot of and were there a lot of y'alls?
Yeah. I really did want to see like a band that was like, there's a group called Nickel Creek, and they're
Okay.
kind of like a bluegrass, like mountain type of
They're
sound.
so great. Chris Thiele.
The Lighthouse.
The main guy.
Yeah, the Lighthouse Tale is like one of my favorite songs ever. And I'll say this about the Gaylord too. They have music all the time, everywhere. Like there could be like at one point there's like somebody playing somewhere in
That's your
the
jam.
hotel.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so cool.
In Nashville, if you say you're in the music industry, it's like being in LA and saying you're in the film industry. Like,
Well, I'm an
you could be a
actor.
waiter somewhere, but you're like music adjacent.
Oh, how
It's
funny.
hard, but you're in the music industry.
Yeah.
But Miranda Lambert's bar was cool, and then went to this restaurant called the Continental, which is owned and operated by Chef Sean Brock. That was cool.
Amazing dessert, by the way.
Amazing desserts.
What was it? What did you have?
The dessert was, what was it again?
It was a layered.
The red velvet crepe cake.
So it's like 27 layer cake.
Oh my god, that looks so good.
And it was a cream cheese frosting. It was amazing. We also went to see the Parthenon that's there in Nashville.
What's that?
It's
It looks.
a true size replica.
Isn't that
of
in
the,
Greece?
Yeah.
of the Parthenon in
Okay.
Greece?
Replica of the Greek Parthenon.
Damn.
It was gorgeous. It was
Okay.
so fun.
It was
Okay.
built for like an expo that happened in the 1820 or
Yeah.
1920s or 1890s, somewhere back then. But then it's been renovated and updated. But it's as close to the original as they can get with academic records.
Huh.
Is
Yeah.
the statue inside of it?
Yes, it is, and that statue is ugly.
That statue is not cute. Let me tell you. There's a lot of gold leaf on that statue.
Luster dust.
But it was cool to see it and stuff like that because, that's a thing you do in Nashville. And so we did that. We found a couple of cool little restaurants, like a banh mi place. We did breakfast at a
Great breakfast place.
great breakfast place that did like these biscuit donuts.
Biscuit Love?
It's called Biscuit Love. It's in Nashville near Vanderbilt. And they did these like biscuit donuts that we had to have, and it was like
Oh my
delicious.
God.
And that's like, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
We still tried to make what we could out of it, like
All
still
things
see because I'd never been to
considered, yeah.
It
Nashville.
was really
so.
our both first time to explore the city a little bit.
Right, yeah.
Even though it was under less than perfect.
And let me tell you, their highways in Nashville are the worst. I'm sorry, all of you Nashvillians that are listening,
Tennesseans.
but like they love the forks in the road. Like you'll be on the highway and it'll either go left or right, and you got to make sure you get on there. But then
You never run for longer than a mile and a half.
right,
Yeah.
and then you have to get off the exit, and then you have to be all the way in the left-hand lane to get to your next exit.
Okay.
That's coming in like half a mile.
And of course you have no idea.
And like driving from downtown to where the Gaylord is, you might have to be on 6 or 7 freeways, but only for a mile and a half each. And it's always just a fork in the road. So when you get on, then it'll eventually split into 2 freeways, and you have to go to one or the other. And it's usually the one as far away from you as possible.
And not only that, but like it felt like you had to go in a square to get where you were going. Like you had to go down,
Weird.
cross over, go back up the way you just came.
So it's like you couldn't turn left, but you can do 3 rights.
You literally, like, when he was driving, I had to watch the phone and kind of talk him through it. Okay, you're going to make a left turn after this, because the nav system only told you what was next, but
Yeah.
you didn't know beyond that. And
Oh my God.
it was too fast to.
Yeah.
I would be stressed in that. Oh my
It's
god.
like DC when like you're gonna go right, but you have to go left first to then ultimately end up over there going right.
Correct. Yeah.
It's a lot of that.
It's a lot of that. And it was like, oh my, that was like the worst. And then one night it rained,
Okay.
and it was like, I couldn't see the lines on the road.
That much rain?
No.
Oh.
It's so black, and the reflective material isn't very good there. So I was like, I can't see. Okay. So the night my sister passed, we were at the hotel. It's like 10 o'clock. We're getting ready for bed. And he decides, oh, I'm going to take a sleepy pill. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take a gummy.
What kind of gummy?
Like,
Like a THC?
Yeah.
Just wanted to
Okay.
help you.
To
So-
help him get to sleep, because it was bedtime.
Right, it's like 10 o'clock or so. 10:35, my phone rings, and I'm like, son of a bitch! And it's my sister, and it let me know that my sister had passed. And I'm like, oh God. Like, we get there, and I'm like, I'm kind of high. And I'm like, and he's like, do you want me to drive? And I'm like,
bitch, you on avian.
I know. And I'm like, good thing I didn't because he was asleep in the car.
Oh my god! Oh
I don't remember a lot of that. Time.
Oh my god! Oh, because you had to wait. So you had to go.
The hospice.
Yeah.
The Hoe Spice. and like just make sure it was.
And then we had to like, you know, everybody's there and they're all crying, and then we also had to like.
Did you guys roll up and you were like super like numb and like what?
I was just like, gotta do this, and like then I would like also have to talk to the funeral home director who came,
and Eddie was sleeping.
Yeah, and it's like, but you know, it's like, yeah. So that was our trip to Nashville.
Damn.
And why we had to skip a couple weeks of episodes and stuff like that. But now we're back. So that means we're ready
back
for
again.
Back again. So that means we're ready for mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth resuscitation. All right, what are you obsessed with, Joe?
Thank you for asking. So I've been on like this weird journey, and I don't know how to like summarize it, but we'll call
Is
it
there
like
a fork in the road and then you have to get over?
Are you becoming a woman?
No. You can't become what you already are. So like it kind of started with like me trying to like find a new body wash, and then it was like, I'll use bar soap instead because it's like it's more cost effective and yada yada yada. And then I was like, oh, let me go on YouTube, and then I went into this like zero.
Learn how to use bar soap.
No, it was like environmental options that are like zero waste friendly or whatever. And then I went through this whole thing, and you know, you guys have YouTube Premium now. You know how it goes. Where like everything, it was like how to make soap. Here's how you can make soap on your own. And then I was like, I'm gonna make soap on my own. And so like I've been basically watching like soap tutorials on YouTube.
I understand exactly where you are.
And like, but I will tell you, there's this Australian lady, and I think her name is like Ellie or whatever, and it's like almost kind of like the Planet Earth guy, you know, like how it's just so like mind numbing and it's just so relaxing.
Right.
I listened to this woman talk about how she like mixes the ingredients and she buys her like she takes her aloe vera in and puts it in with the soap and like yada yada, and I was just like, what have I become? So I'm obsessed with that. So because of this soap journey, I told Nick that I wanted to go to the farmer's market to find a local soap maker. And this is what I really am obsessed with, and what's giving me life is that there is a company. It's called Blissful Seeds, and they're I'm guessing nonprofit company, but they employ adults with autism, and it gives them a creative outlet. Yeah. And they like their soaps are great, but they also make these like have you ever seen those like poured acrylic art things? It's like beautiful little stunning things, and so there's like dishes or whatever, and it's like poured acrylic, and they're beautiful, like super
Brian
really
Knapp
cool.
does those tabletops.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So like support if you're in San Diego, or I think they have a website, but it's called Blissful Seeds, and I was like, I'm all for this cause because it's giving folks with autism basically work and also a way for them to be creative and express their artistic side.
There's a guy in the chorus. He might not be active right now, but that does soap making, and he's very good.
Oh. Maybe I'll have to ask him questions. All I know is that I need lye and like oil. I haven't made soap yet, but it's on my to-do.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted. That's my obsession. What about you?
So two, maybe three things. First off is my new Merrill shoes, because we were in, they're over there. When we were in Nashville, we went to the mall, and
what are those?
They're kind of like
Are
like
those Crocs?
They're sort of like Crocs, but they're by Merrill.
Okay.
So they have a backside to it. So like it.
Andy is like home shopping networking it right now.
I'm Vanna Whiting.
Yes, I love it.
So like when you have Crocs, you have the little flipper thing.
Yeah.
And like when you flip it to the back, that means you got in sport mode.
Oh my god.
But they are super, super comfortable. They're not Crocs, but they're by Merrill. And
okay.
they're super comfortable, and I love them.
And they're all plastic, so easy to clean.
Yeah, easy to clean.
Okay.
And then The other thing I'm obsessed with is biscuits and gravy, because when we were in Nashville, I ate a lot of that, and I loved it.
Okay.
It was so good.
Did you
I
have
missed
like
it.
sausage breakfast biscuits too?
No, I basically just did like, but
Just
like there was
biscuits.
sausage in it, but like it was like sausage.
Did they give you biscuits with every meal?
No, I
Okay.
wish they did.
Because that was when I was in North Carolina, I was biscuited it out.
I loved it. It was so
We
good.
even went one place and they were out of chicken fried steak. So
Oh, I know. We went to Logan's Road. Okay, so my family is really basic. So like, where do you guys want to go to eat? They're like, let's go to Logan's. I'm
What's
like,
Logan's?
actually, they didn't even call it Logan's. They called it
Texas Roadhouse,
Roadhouse.
and I'm like, no,
Oh,
it's
no.
here in Tennessee, it's Logan's Roadhouse, not Texas Roadhouse.
Oh no.
So,
have the
but yeah,
warm
they didn't
bread
have,
at least?
huh?
Do they have the warm bread at least? Like
Yes,
Texas
the
Roadhouse?
yeast rolls.
That's why I go to Texas Roadhouse.
Exactly.
I'd go back for that.
But yeah, so they ran out of chicken fried steak.
How do you do that?
How do you do that? And you're in the South.
I know that's like a staple.
But the other thing I was obsessed with, I will say this, is at both the National and the Opryland and at the Orlando World Center, Marriott, if you're a Bonvoy member, you can request to get a bracelet. And it's just like a little bracelet that just says Marriott Bonvoy on a little like plastic piece. But it's your room key.
Oh.
And I loved it. I was like, bam, 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 opening up doors with my little bracelet everywhere.
Oh.
I did. It was so cute.
Oh, and it's stretchy.
Yeah.
Wait, Bonvoy, so is that like if you're a Marriott member?
Yes.
Yeah, that's their like their premium like.
She's premium.
Also,
Yes.
I had Publix sweet tea, and I was so happy because I love. Okay, so Publix is
I love Publix.
Publix is a southern
Isn't it a grocery store?
grocery store. Yes,
With an X.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're known throughout the country for their Christmas commercials. Oh, I'm sorry, Cooper. And but I love their sweet tea.
You mean their sweet tea?
Their sweet tea. It is like sweet. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
My favorite sweet tea stories were when my mom went to either like South Carolina or maybe, I don't know, somewhere. Maybe it was like Texas. It was some place that had sweet tea. And she was like, everywhere, Joe. All they wanted to give me was sweet tea. Do you want some sweet tea? You want some sweet tea? And she's like, no.
It was sticky on the outside too.
that's
how
big.
you know.
That's how you
That's
know
when
it's
you know
good.
it's good sweet
Some,
tea.
some sweet tea.
And I got to take them to Moe's. Not like the Moe's here.
I was like, what?
It's a chain of like southern like fast casual like Mexican, kind of like a Chipotle in a way.
Okay.
But oh my god, it was
was
so good.
Huh.
And I love their white queso sauce.
Ooh.
Like just saying to all my peoples out there, all my Nashvilleians.
Where my people at? Where my people at?
That is Orlando white queso.
And I'll say this: I thought the donuts were good, the ones that we got that morning. So on the way to the hospital one morning, we decided to stop somewhere and get donuts for the staff. We found a cute little like donut shop, local donut shop. I was like, okay, Andy, just get a dozen and that'll be good. He comes out, he's like, that was $48 for donuts.
But they were really gourmet.
For a dozen?
high quality donuts, and they were beautiful too.
They were
So-
beautiful.
If my
Really
math
beautiful.
checks out, that is $4 a donut.
Basically.
Oh my god.
and worth every penny.
Yeah.
But so were they like bougie fancy donuts?
Yes, it was like
To be
brown.
fair, we got 49 because we ate one of them.
Good.
We got 13.
Yeah, because I think the one that we ate was like a brown butter brioche.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
It was
yummy.
good. It
That's,
had some really
you got
good
some
flavor.
fancy donuts.
Let's just say this: I would go back looking for that donut place again. Would probably never find it, but I would go looking.
Did
for
you
it
keep
again.
your receipt?
So, but yeah, that was, yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the world in the past couple of weeks since our last episode.
Yeah.
One of the big things was the Grammys.
Uh-huh. And I didn't watch them.
You didn't watch them?
No, because I don't know any of their music. I feel like I was like, okay, I know there's like a lot of new artists, and I was like, I don't know any of these things.
But I mean, Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
Yes.
Did you watch their Unholy?
No. Because I don't think I get the channel.
CBS.
Do I have the channel?
It's Paramount Plus.
Oh. I think it was like happening. I was like, oh, it's happening. Oh, well.
Well, because like the right was all in an uproar, saying that they were celebrating Satan and everything because he came out in all red with his horns on.
Okay, I heard. So here's the thing. It's like they tell us we're going to hell, and then we're like, okay, we're in hell, and then they're like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, bitch, pick your thing. I watched like the highlights, and so it's like Beyonce obviously won. Kim Petras, I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, she's the first transgender woman to win in that category.
Yep, and then also Viola Davis was now an EGOT.
She is the 18th person to get an EGOT because she got a Grammy win for her audiobook for her memoir.
And it's like, I didn't know first that she wrote a memoir, or second that you can get a Grammy for an audiobook.
Yeah, girl. You get a Grammy for everything.
She's up there with Whoopi.
And Jennifer Hudson. And now,
oh yes,
and now Beyonce is the most awarded artist ever for the Grammys. But she didn't win Album of the Year, which people were very upset.
Who won
about.
Album of the Year?
Harry Styles, and people were mad because they were like, "Really? Every year you all give it to somebody else besides Beyonce?" Because Beck won it when she had "I Am
and
Sasha
I think
Fierce."
Adele won it when
Adele won it when Lemonade was out.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's weird.
Paul, do you know what the difference between album of the year and record of the year?
So, record of the year is one song,
okay,
and it goes to everybody who wrote on that song. So it's just one.
It's like in a group.
It's like their way of saying single.
Okay, so it's like single of the year,
Right.
but we say record of the year.
Correct.
That sounds.
Instead of they do album of the year for the whole album, and then record of the year for the single that was. Did you see that Bonnie Raitt won?
Yeah,
a Grammy. I was like, oh my god,
she
Bonnie
was
Raitt.
so surprised because
I know.
everybody she was in her category was like all winners, and then she's like, wait, what?
Wait, for what song?
Oh, she has a new album out.
Yeah, new album.
Stuff. Yeah.
Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me, Bonnie Raitt?
Yes.
I love her.
I do too, and I was like, go girl.
Did Taylor Swift win anything?
Yes. But I don't remember. And I didn't really care.
Yeah. I think that was like, for me, that was, I watched some highlights of it, and I felt like there was no talk of her other than just being like a little like Taylor Swift cheerleader, and I'm like, this is perfect. This is the world I like to live in, where it's not Taylor Swift winning.
Well, and who was it? Before Beyonce got stuck in traffic, so a couple of her first awards that she won, like Niles Rodgers, because she won for Cuff It, and Niles Rodgers was up there because he played on that single, and it was like looking at him talking about it, I was like, that is so awesome that you are still making music and you still want to work with people and they still love your sound. And if any of you don't know who Niles Rodgers is, he created Chic. And a lot of that disco sound.
Yes,
the disco funk sound
love
that
it.
he loved.
Love it.
I also
But wait,
love.
stuck in traffic is now the new euphemism for I didn't want to show up.
But I'm
Was
starting
she
to win,
really?
so I should probably put on my
Yeah, so I
dress
should
and get
probably
there.
show up for that.
I also loved that Adele got to meet The Rock.
Oh, yeah, you saw that.
Because she has a big crush on the Rock, and who hosted it?
I have no idea.
Oh, Trevor Noah.
Yeah. Trevor Noah is like, Adele, I heard you like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but you guys have never met before. And all of a sudden he's walking up, and you see him in the camera, and then he taps her on the shoulder, and they have a little moment together, and it's.
And I love that Lizzo and Adele became best friends. At this whole thing, and I'm just like, oh, that's so cool.
That photo with Lizzo, Adele, and Beyonce that was on the internet, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is so cool to see Lizzo.
Since we're talking about Beyonce,
Are we going to her concert?
yeah,
do I think that it should have won Album of the Year? I do not think so. I actually really did enjoy Harry's House because there's a lot of singles on there that I still listen to a lot.
Yeah.
There was a couple of songs here and there that I felt like, oh, this is great, but Renaissance didn't have enough of highs and lows for me, and it was just it felt the same throughout. And I'm sure I'm going to get some static from the Beehive about this.
Listen, you know what? I'll give
Those
you a
DMs
bounce or a what is it, like a dryer sheet, so you won't get any cling. Like the static can go away because I do not care for her new music whatsoever.
You said that when it first came out. You didn't really like that album.
There was like one song and I was like, oh, whatever. But I feel like, I mean, I'm all for artists like growing, maturing, and doing, because the art is for them, it's not for us. And I'm like, that's fantastic. If this is what you wanted to put out, I didn't particularly enjoy it, so that's just that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I get it. You're taking this music that was created by Black artists, which is house and especially like Detroit house and stuff like that. Yeah. But oh my god, I thought that Missy Elliott did it much better when she did For My People, like back in the day, like almost 20 years ago. So yeah, I was just like, we're still working through the Grammys because we have it on Paramount Plus, so we're still trying to watch a little bit
whole
of here and
thing.
there.
Missy Elliott made it.
I know.
And you're like,
She
wait,
is
was that Missy
stunning.
Elliott? Like,
She is stunning.
I know.
She's
I
aging
mean,
nicely.
Y'all
She's
keep
aging
y'all
nicely.
keep sleeping on Missy Elliott, but you can't.
No. I will not sleep on Missy Elliott. We know you want to sleep with Missy Elliott.
I do love her. She's so beautiful.
Yes.
And you saw that Bad Bunny was there and the whole controversy with that. Like he performed, and when they did the live broadcast, all they did was singing in non-English. They couldn't figure out the closed captioning for Spanish speaking. And it's like,
that's what it's on the captions?
yes, it just says singing in non-English.
You would think they would have the lyrics beforehand.
You think he's the #1 streamed artist in the entire world.
I mean, who puts on the Grammys? Shame on you, CBS.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, Lord.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
We kind of did. I left at
watched
halftime
it.
after Rihanna's show.
Okay, so here's the thing. More people watched the actual halftime show than actually watched the game.
That's hilarious.
Like, there was about 118 million people who watched the halftime show, only about 113 million who watched the actual game.
And you know what? If you were a white middle-aged woman, you know what you did? You wrote how boring.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. If you're a middle-aged and white or anything, you just like, that was so boring. They need to have other people in there.
My mom didn't even watch it, and I was talking to her. She's like, I think I'm going to just go walk around the mall because there won't be anybody there.
Like, why does it have to be extra people there? Like, I feel like people are like, I want to see a mashup, and I'm like, but she's mashing up 13 songs in
I loved
12 minutes.
I think it was great. I think that like it was. I liked how it was simple. It wasn't a lot of extra fling.
And she didn't need it. It was entertaining and powerful and her. 100% her.
And you know what the whole storyline was, right?
Oh.
All those white dancers were sperm.
And
she
got a
was
baby.
the egg.
Was that the real storyline?
That was the real storyline. Because if you also look at the set list, it goes from like meeting the joy of meeting somebody and the love that happens, some tough times, and then you have creating life and stuff like that. And that's
Riri.
why she ended up towards the end rubbing her stomach to let you know that was the special guest star she
is pregnant. I loved her throw where she got out her Fenty Beauty thing and was like, blah, blah, gonna get rid of my shimmer. And then apparently, like Fenty Beauty skyrocketed the next day.
See, this is why they don't get paid to do the halftime show. None of the artists get paid for that.
Yeah, I saw why.
Because afterwards you see the surge of their album sales.
So it's like, we're not going to give you any money.
Yeah.
I also loved that the choreography was genderless and almost faceless, and incredibly unified.
Yeah.
Like those dancers were incredible, but they were all one.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
They were doing that little like thing with her hand in the back like this. It turned into so many like little memes.
I love the memes
so much.
Okay.
I loved it.
So everybody saw the whole part where she did the makeup thing. But I think a lot of people missed where she was dancing and she was doing like a Michael Jackson thing with her hand near her crotch.
Her crotch, yeah.
And then she took her hand and rubbed her fingers across her nose.
Oh.
Like somebody after they finger someone and they want to sniff it.
Oh.
Like, I was like, did she just do it? Like, Andy will tell you. I was like, she just smelled her coochie.
I mean,
And that's
she
where
is
most
dirty.
Of the white middle exactly.
Exactly.
Were like, oh, this is not for me.
I will say my favorite meme though was the because her things were going up and down, and it was like a Super Smash Brothers event stage.
But
I loved it.
I loved that set though. That set was amazing.
It really was.
And come on, they were like, she's lip syncing, and I'm like, she's lip singing because nobody is going to sing the entire time they're out there.
Yeah, there's some pre-recorded, and also it's okay.
That's what we expect. She's gonna do that at a concert too.
And think about if you were doing dance moves, you're not going to have the stamina to be able to do all that and make a sound.
Right, exactly.
But Rihanna can.
But she did not need a costume change.
No.
She did not need a guest star.
Yep.
And that was the thing. She actually said, she's like, I don't want to do costume changes because I need to give people a show and it's my name on this and everything. So I'm giving them full on hit. And I was like, yes. I will say this. I'm glad she did not bring Kanye out for all of the lights. But I did kind of want her to bring out Jay-Z for Umbrella.
Or even, what's the dude that did it on the
Tom Holland?
I would have loved Tom Holland out there.
I think
some genderless
there could have been
outfit, too.
there could have been a lot of cameos. Alyssa Edwards and Tatiana for Shut Up and Drive. We could have had a lot of people.
Goes to show how she collaborates with so many people, and so all of us were like, "Who's she going to collaborate with? Who's going to join her on stage?" And it was nobody. And you're like,
right.
Way to go.
Yep.
I love how it's you're going to have a baby instead of release some music. And I was like, let her do what she wants.
Okay.
But
she's a billionaire.
Right.
Yeah.
and often you come out of the halftime show going, okay, I didn't relate to that at all. But every song she did, I knew.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it was good.
And I am not her target audience. You know,
Right.
it was still entertaining. It was still amazing.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
And
It was fun.
Fenty, what's it, Fenty?
Fenty Beauty, yeah.
Yeah.
You have your Fenty Beauty products.
He was one of those people who went on and did the...
You are stunning.
It's the under eye cream.
Yes, you are a serving goddess realness.
So what do you have?
Oh no, my thing stopped. So I talked about the State of the Union. Mine is my things are kind of boring that happened, but I think the State of the Union, I was I'm going to watch this, have it in the background. And I just loved how Biden kind of was not sleepy Biden that everyone was talking about.
Right.
And he was calling people out. And I'm like, oh.
Oh, yeah, he called it the GOP a lot of times.
So I was living for that because he was I don't know what he did. I will say, though, because I was taking pictures and I was sending to my friends back home, and I was like, if we have to get through this whole binder, we're going to be here forever. But then I have a picture that I took, and it's the text is size 50. So the binder was easy to get through. The one thing I did want to talk to you guys about is The Last of Us, because I know that you recommended to watch.
Okay.
Do you have it on yours?
So... We finally watched the first episode last night. We haven't actually started because when that Saturday that we were off, we were going to start watching that, and that's when I got the call about my sister, so we had to leave. So we actually didn't start until last night, and we watched the first episode. Andy didn't realize it was going to be an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes
it's
long.
A long one.
And
heavy
and kind of
yes.
And I was like, it is a very post-apocalyptic post-apocalyptic kind of thing. And I was I knew the game somewhat, but I forgot that it was about fungus. And then I was
I had no idea.
I was oh, is that when they get infected, are they now a fun guy?
Mm-hmm. or there's a fungus among us.
There you go.
You have to put a pin in that one then to talk about it.
Right, because I know that coming up to the third episode, you have Bill and Frank, who are characters in there. And in the video games, they're ancillary characters that don't really have a lot to do, but they kind of fleshed them out now. And I want to watch it. Mm-hmm. I will watch it. I just have to get to it.
We watched all. We're up to
There's 5 episodes, and I think I still don't know how I feel about it. I think it's done really well, and it's funny watching it with Nick because he's not into the scary suspense, and he kind of hides, and he's I'm looking out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. He's I don't know what happens at this episode. I didn't read it before, and I'm so you're experiencing film.
I like to go on those websites that are here are the things to be concerned about that are the jump scenes. I hate jump scenes.
Okay.
I know that sometimes it can ruin the plot a little bit, so I
Every
don't
time.
ever share it with anybody else. But just so I'm aware of, like, person's going to jump out behind a door and shoot somebody, and it's going to surprise you.
Is that like that website where you would go on
Kids
before you
in
go to
Mind.
movies
Yeah,
and like
when you
when to
need
go to pee?
the bathroom.
It's a different one.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's the like recommendations of when you can go pee. So like
During a
Boring
movie.
part of the movie. If you
No, that's a
That
thing.
you're not going to lose any of the plot line or whatever, so nothing really happens.
That's
I didn't realize you don't
genius.
like jump sheet.
Something about it just like I can't deal with it. So I just like to look and I'll be like, okay, I know. At least if I know it's going to happen, I'm good. So that's my
Oh.
way of like dealing with that.
Interesting.
And here I am experiencing it organically as it is written.
Of stuff.
Right.
Organically, the fungus.
Does that mean you're not going to go see the new Winnie the Pooh movie?
I mean, it looks terrifying too. No.
I know. Do you see this? About
No.
there is a Winnie the Pooh slasher film.
No, there
it looks
is not.
terrible.
Yes. But
It looks
but
terrifying.
here's the thing: like it's based on the actual characters from the 1926 A.A. Milne's
Yeah,
book because
Like the Brothers Grimm.
no,
back
it's
in
like
those ones?
the actual like Winnie the Pooh story,
Huh.
not the Disney-fied version, but the actual version.
Hmm.
Because those characters became public domain last year.
Oh.
So, but here's the thing: it's called Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey, and it's a Winnie the Pooh slasher film,
I have nightmares just looking at the picture right
This
now.
is like
But-
a Katie movie.
right?
my
but
God.
he can't. Like they can't use Tigger in the movie. They can't have him in a short crop red shirt.
Oh,
because
Lord.
those are all Disney-esque
Interesting.
things that they did to the characters. So they had to be very careful about what they could and
So
could not
Mill
do.
didn't write this story, but they're just using the characters in this twisted way.
Correct. Yes, so they became the public domain. They could use these characters in that way,
Right.
But they had to be very careful not to use Disney as
They still have rights to those.
Correct.
I will
wouldn't
not be
mind
seeing this
the,
movie.
the new Scream movie though.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
It's coming
The trailer.
out. So
Okay.
It's a new. I like the Scream movies because something about them where you have the first one, which is actually a really well made movie, and then they all kind of like it's a meta series. Like it's all kind of like they reflect back and some like make fun of the other movies, and so it's kind of like this. What's the movie where like all the buildings are going in and you have to go into different layers and there it's like
Inception.
yeah,
Inception,
it's very
yeah.
Inception-y almost.
Okay.
So maybe we'll see the new Scream movie.
Speaking of trailers, did you watch a lot of the Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah.
I love the Dunkin' Donuts one. I'm like, good for you for leaning into the whole Ben Affleck thing.
I know that was crazy to see him and then get J-Lo in there too.
I know. Well, Andy's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I had to show him the pictures of like Ben Affleck with all of his like Dunkin' Donuts in his hands, like
Yeah.
Because he's always having it, right?
right,
Yeah.
because he loves Dunkin' Donuts. So I was like, that's actually really cool of them.
Actually, they should just do a commercial with Ben Affleck trying to hold more than he can possibly
Right,
hold.
exactly.
It's always dropping shit.
Memes.
It's true. Oh my God, did you buy your Mischief red boots yet?
My what?
Your Mischief, Mischief
Mischief
red-
is your drag name. What is Mischief Red Boots?
So
Oh
there's a
my
new
god,
thing on
no,
TikTok
okay.
and Instagram.
I know, now I know. They're like the huge giant red boots.
Yeah, it's because they're based on the character Astro Boy. And like they're all over TikTok and
Why?
Instagram right now.
Are
Why?
they really that much money?
No, they're actually $350, but you can't really get them.
Are they supportive? For those with arch needs?
Right. I think it'd
Will
be
they
very
fit my orthotic
They
insoles?
come with a wide.
Okay.
But so people are posting all these like videos of them putting them on and styling with it and stuff. There's even like this old guy on there who like styles.
That's what
it.
I saw. I was like, oh lord.
But he's actually really cool looking, and I was like, oh, okay, good for you, old man. But the funny thing is they're rubber,
I was gonna say they're probably not comfortable.
and not only that, but like if you find the videos of people trying to take them off, it's so funny because like they don't think about how that's going to affect when you're like wearing them in rubber and then you sweat and now you can't get them off of your body.
Oh no.
So these are $300 shoes that were made by the same company who made Lil Nas X Nike counterfeit
Blood and
Nikes
whatever.
with the blood in the sole and everything like that. So, but yeah, it's the trend right now. And here's the thing. A lot of the people that you see on TikTok and stuff wearing this are influencers who got them on loan or got them gifted. So I don't know how many they've actually sold of these things yet, but...
Well, I will not be buying those.
Why not? Go out and buy some.
Astro Boy.
I know. I'm like, I thought that was so cool. I was like, Astro Boy, I love
I
him.
can see Paul wearing them unless he's walking Cooper around the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
I don't feel like they would breathe.
No, they probably don't.
So how was your Valentine's Day?
It was, nothing like crazy to remark on. We went and got burgers.
From the Friendly. Have you been to the Friendly?
Oh my god, I haven't been there yet, but I hear they're really good.
It was great.
And they have a nice crust on them.
Yeah.
We went, it was actually really good. I got a bacon barbecue or onion ring burger or something. It was good.
Delicious.
It was also like very wet and sloppy, but it was fine. And then it had onion rings on the side.
You talking about the burger still?
No, my asshole.
Oh, okay, great.
Wet and sloppy with onion rings on the side.
Happy VD.
Stop it.
It's a theme.
No, and then we caught up on Last of Us.
Okay.
And then we ate your chocolates,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
which were much better than the Russell Stover ones that I got from the just like grocery store. But there's like something nostalgic about like nasty candy for me. And I got him for Nick, knowing that he wouldn't eat them, so that I could eat them. So I got him like some flowers in a card, and like here's this little like box of chocolates and a heart. And I was like, I got them for you, but they're for me.
So your soap journey is my chocolate journey right now.
But you're like succeeding, and you're actually doing. I have yet to make soap.
Okay, so Andy got a new toy, right?
In the bedroom or
No, in the kitchen. So
Which
he
toy?
now has a airbrush gun for his chocolates and his cakes
So you
and
can
stuff.
create-
wait? Did you return the one
I returned the one
and got
good one.
a new one? Okay.
So it's like he can airbrush the chocolate mold, so he can make his little bonbons and everything, and they look amazing.
And it
It's
can
a
double as
learning
temporary
process.
tattoos.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to spray it on me?
I can do your makeup right
Yes.
Oh my god! And I'll be literally airbrushed with my Fenty. it's so like side note, like Fenty Beauty is like very expensive, so like good for you, Rihanna.
Yep.
So here's a Valentine's Day question, though, because how do you guys feel about going out on Valentine's Day versus...
So, like we've talked about this before, like we don't go out. Like, our Valentine's Day dinner this year is going to be next week. We're going to a restaurant called Wolf in the Woods, but we don't ever go out the night of,
Or even the week of.
or even the week of Valentine's Day.
It's so much money.
Well, and not only that, but like everybody has a prefix menu.
Yes.
It's like, okay, here is your steak dish. Here is a fish dish, and then there's a mushroom risotto. It's true.
And after watching that TV show, I'm not eating fungus for
Exactly.
I wonder what Urban Moe's prefix meal would be.
It would be a hanger steak, a tilapia. And then, I don't know what their vegetable would
Chicken
be.
breast, steamed carrots.
a baked potato.
Baked potato.
And then it's always like some kind of like strawberry mousse or something dessert and a chocolate lava cake.
Mm-hmm.
That is the basic menu because it's a turn and burn kind of thing.
And it's also like 7 times more than it should be.
Right, because your prefix menu is now $75 and you're like, oh, well, it's great because we have filet mignon on it and salmon and this, and so people are going to pay for it. It's like, I don't want to go to your restaurant right now because it does not show me what you can do.
And there's too many people out. Like,
No, yeah.
We made filet mignon. We had in the freezer, so we defrosted it. And
Nice.
Paul made a béarnaise sauce, which was amazing.
Yummy.
And we had some
Sauce.
potato au gratin that we had gotten like in frozen for a year that we finally cooked, and it was delicious.
I mean, the béarnaise sauce like worked on everything. I was
what's
like,
the béarnaise?
Béarnaise is like a hollandaise that you get on your like your eggs Benedict,
Oh,
but
yes.
it has the added tarragon.
Yes.
So,
Oh, and also, thanks for that piece of meat that we got.
Oh,
Yeah, did you like that?
It was good.
the tri-tip. You guys had the tri-tip.
oh my god. It was so good.
We get that we used to get that, cook it on the grill, and then just slice it for sandwiches for like a week.
Yeah.
It
Oh my
would
God.
last forever.
Thank you, because I basically ate the whole thing.
Wait, I also want to say, like, one of the best parts about having to leave, there's a lot of bad things, but one of the best parts about it was that we feel very loved and very supported because, people like you guys took care of Cooper, you took care of our house, you helped me with work, my work treated us to a dinner, the whole family to a dinner. It was just so many people did amazing things.
You got us flowers. Andrew Davis and Gio just sent us a little gift, like a sympathy gift and stuff like that. So it has been really great to see people rally around us and give us love.
It's
and
because
support
we love
and
you guys.
I know.
Yeah, thank you.
We
But it
appreciate
it made it so much easier to be able to get up and leave and know that Cooper was going to be okay.
Yep.
And even our dog, the guy that takes him to the beach, took him for a whole week without question.
Yep.
And was totally there to support us. So. And when I was trying to do something at work and I needed Nick to go to my house and push the little button, he made a trip from his house all the way over here to push that button.
Nick was telling me about it, and he was like, Angie this morning called me, and I was like, oh my God, is everything okay? And he was like, I had to push a button. And I was like, oh, okay.
I felt so validated.
There's some TV show about the future where somebody's job is to just push a button.
Oh my God.
And that was... I had 3 demos scheduled, and if he wasn't there to do that, my whole day would have been totally
Really?
screwed up. Yeah.
Oh my
so it's the
God.
stupidest thing, but
Yeah.
Well, we cleaned up really well from that orgy party we had here too. So
Oh, good.
I didn't even notice the stains on the shoe.
yeah, no stains. That's good. Yeah.
I was like, we're going to blacklight the house later.
They used obviously a water-based glue.
Every room in the house.
Exactly. All right, everyone. Well, thank you. Everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.